another mark that goes into your grade book. So that's why I said you need your textbook. It's literally based on following through the textbook. But I just want to give you some quick insight on Cole's notes of the chapter. What does chapter 2 talk about? There you go. I have mentioned it before. I told you to take a picture. Originally, when we had individualism and collectivism on those sideboards, the right side versus the left side. Individualism, as a reminder, as a refresher. Sebastian, what side of the spectrum does individualism go on? Shoot! He forgot. Individualism goes on one side. Right. The right. Individualism on the right, collectivism on the left. Okay, we have to remember that. So what do we do with chapter 2? We just go a little bit further into the ideology. What are the key characteristics of individualism? And I gave you an acronym. What was the acronym? To help you remember what the key characteristics of individualism were, what was the acronym? Crisis. Okay? P-R-I-C-E-S. Crisis. Okay? Helps you remember the key elements and the key characteristics of individualism. So I'm just going to rip through this quickly and then give you the time to work. So, we should best understand individualism also links to this term right here, and that is liberalism. And liberalism, the root word of liberalism is what? Liberal or liberty, which refers to freedom. Okay? Degrees of freedom. So we start off with where this first started, where this first came from. We had a society that was structured in this manner. Okay? And we would transition to something new. Okay? People questioned the authority of the church. It would bring us to new reformations. What's the root word of reformation? Reform. Reform means to do what? To change. We changed the structure of society. Okay, you don't have to take these down. I just want to give you some insight into how we evolved from this into something new. Thinkers like Hobbes, like Locke, like Rousseau questioned why we had to live this way. Why was a key question. Why are we stuck in a hierarchy ruled by God? Okay? Why can't we value human strength and beauty and reasoning behind things? So the church, the Catholic Church at that time, was reformed. They were challenged by Martin Luther. Okay? Not Martin Luther King Jr., Martin Luther, the German, who challenged the authority of the Catholic Church, resulting in the Reformation and new churches to pop up, like Protestant churches. Okay? So the key principles of individualism that emerged. Rule of law, the R. Okay? What does rule of law mean? No longer could you say, the monarch said so, therefore that's the law. Okay, what's the reason behind it? Okay, that's something to know. The R. Rule of law. You need clearly defined laws that make up your society. Do we have that now? In Canada, where are rules clearly spelled out? Where are your freedoms clearly spelled out? In the Constitution. Okay? The Charter of Rights and Freedoms clearly defines what you have as your rights and freedoms. If two people commit the same crime, you receive the same punishment. These are important facets of the rule of law. Again, don't take this down. I'm just giving you some recap into the 6 letters of the characteristics of individual. Okay? Individual rights express to what degree individualism can be maintained. You have certain freedoms and certain rights, and you're protected with them, but once you trample on the rights of others, you can no longer claim freedoms. And I talked about the guy who was a teacher who taught social studies in a small town in Alberta, and he told his students that the Holocaust was a what? It was a fraud, it was a lie. Okay? There, you can't be saying freedom of speech anymore. The I, individual rights and freedoms. What do you have? You're guaranteed these things. Freedom of religion, to associate with whomever you wish. The right to life, liberty, and security. This is something that I would write down. Okay, if you haven't written this down already, know these terms because we see them every single year in diplomas, and it screws people up. Okay, if you see reference to franchise, okay, it means the right to vote. Suffrage does not mean to suffer, it means the universal right to vote. I don't know why they want to confuse you, but they choose to do so. Just understand that those three things mean the same thing. Right to vote, suffrage, franchise. Because you may see them use it on a diploma, and it often confuses students because they see suffrage, and it sounds like to suffer, and they assume that that's dictatorship. It's not. Okay, so be clear. Universal suffrage, or suffragettes, okay, which are the women who fought for the right to vote. The suffragettes. They see that, and they're like, oh, that's a dictatorship. No, it's not. And we've seen reference to that many times, actually, in more recent. Okay? So just be clear. That's a key attribute of individualism. Having the right to vote. Having your rights protected. Right to vote. Franchise, the right to vote versus suffrage. Okay. So where is this protected in Canada? In our Charter of Rights and Freedoms. However, as I mentioned, you can't do this on a weekend with your family because you're claiming that it's part of your rights and freedoms to do so. Okay, you're essentially trampling on the rights of others by dressing up in your white hooded gowns, okay, going and burning crosses. Okay? That's no longer freedom of speech. Okay? That is essentially hate propaganda, it's discrimination, and it's not okay. You're trampling on someone else's rights. Okay? But we were trying to keep warm. Nice try. Yeah. All right, economic freedom, the E. Okay? In an individualist society, you have the freedom to buy what you want, sell your labor, your ideas, or products to whomever you wish. Okay? So what are certain freedoms that you have? These are your freedoms. You don't have to memorize those. Just understand that you have economic freedom in an individual society. One thing to note in Canada, yes, we are somewhat individualist, but we're also collectivist too. And is why we call us a welfare capitalist state. Why is it important? Because we don't just have private property, private clinics. If you get sick, do you have to go to a private clinic? No, you're taken care of with publicly funded healthcare. Do you have the option to go to a private clinic here? Yeah, you do. You have money, you can go to a private clinic. You can get treated now. Or you can go to a publicly funded hospital, and you can wait. Okay? Which is good and bad, and we'll talk about that as we get more into, okay, the different systems. We became a welfare capitalist society during the Great Depression, when capitalism as an ideology failed. And our society realized we can't just rely on no government intervention or laissez-faire, as we'll learn about. We need the government to get help out. And it's programs like welfare, employment insurance, healthcare that emerged during this time period to take care of our citizens. Okay, government intervention with economic freedom. That's what we are here now. Okay? So still, key factor of individualism, the E, economic freedom. The next one, self-interest and competition. Okay? Self-interest is the S, competition is the C. Adam Smith, the founding father of capitalism, advocated for these things. Decisions in an individual society should be made free from government involvement or control. The government should not tell you what to buy, okay, how much of something you can buy, how much you can sell. free to choose for yourselves. In laissez-faire economics, okay, I'd write that down. Laissez-faire. Know this term because you will use it and you will see it many a time. Okay, which loosely translates to leave alone or hands off. That's the government policy of letting it be. Don't get involved in the economy. Let the people decide what is to take place. Okay? Individualists value freedom to choose. That's from Adam Smith's theories on capitalism. Laissez-faire, leave alone, or hands off. The C word, competition, we've talked about why this is good. In an individual society, you consumers should value competition. Why? You're going to get the best quality products at the lowest price. Okay? And if a company fails to do that, guess what what's going to happen? They go out of business. Okay? That's good. You don't want crappy businesses around because they're not necessary for you. You should be spending your hard-earned money on good quality products. Competition allows it. Individuals can best achieve their goals if you're allowed to have private ownership. Last block, I talked about this with my other thirds. Okay, why are you here? Okay, why are you sitting in here? Okay, through our system for 12, 13 years if you go to kindergarten. Why are you here? The education, okay, what were you going to say? It's the law to what age? 16. So up until that point, it's the law. The law caters to an individualist society, a capitalist society. Learn stuff to go out in the real world, get a job, make money, and then if you're doing so, what do you do? Contribute. Okay, what do they want you to do? Spend money. Okay, make money, spend it. That keeps the economy running. That's what's desired. Part of the system. Okay, you desire private ownership. Nice stuff. There's a surplus of goods. You work your ass off. You earn money. Spend it on yourselves. That's what individuals do. We've covered which letters so far? It's S, the E, the C, the I, and we covered the E. Not yet. Adam Smith, as I mentioned, is the founding father of capitalism. Okay? He's a name that you're going to want to associate with this. So Adam Smith. Is the guy we will attribute to this. He wrote the book. Okay? The Wealth of Nations, in which he would describe as an economic symbol. He believes that if the economy would regulate itself if it was left alone. That's the idea of laissez-faire. He believed in the profit motive. If you fail to compete, you fail to survive. People go into business, why? Because they want to make people happy? No. Why do you open up a business? Some of you have aspirations to go to NAIT and take business. Some of you may want to go and get a degree in business at the U of A. Okay? Why would you want to do that? Why do you want to become a businessman or woman? What's the point? Say it again. Go say it. You said it. Make money. You're not wrong, you're right. Why else would you get into business? That's bullshit. No, you're in it to make money. Okay? And I saw this firsthand. I'm not a businessman, but I work for people. Okay? When I started teaching 13, 14 years ago, I also had another job. I worked at a nightclub. Okay? I was a cage dancer. I'm lying. It's a lie. Okay? I was a bartender, not a cage dancer. Relax. Look at how your eyes lit up, Brian. Oh, cage dancer. No, I was not a cage dancer. I bartended. Okay? It was a nightclub at West Mall, so a busy, hot place. Yeah, ridiculous. Back when I first started teaching, it's now the Bed Bath & Beyond, actually. Yeah, there you go. Big change.
Yeah.
Long story short, this is how you learn about business. Nightclub industry can be very lucrative. You can make a hell of a lot of money. Okay? But this nightclub that I worked for only lasted a year and a half. I started, I was part of construction, helping to build it, get it ready for opening night. A year and a half later, I show up to work, done. Doors were boarded up. I was in my attire ready to work. Sign on the door. I can't remember exactly what it said, but long story short, it was closed. How did it close? How does something that, to me, was making a hell of a lot of money, shut down? How did it shut down? Poor business models. How is this done? Numerous people, there were 5 owners. Okay, that's probably step number 1 that's going to be your problem. 5 owners. Okay, of this place. They're in it to make money. The problem is, it seemed like this place was bumping. We had DJs from all over the world coming in there. It was awesome. We were packed every Friday, Saturday night. Sometimes on the Thursday we had a special show. How does it go wrong? You know where it goes wrong? Is when the owners bring in their buddies, tell me, the worker, hey, pour 30 shots. Don't worry, I'll sign off on it. And this was happening repeatedly, over and over and over again. So who's paying for those shots now? No one. Well, how are you going to pay the DJs, your power bill, your workers, when you're not charging for the beverages that you're serving? That's where things go wrong. This happened every weekend, okay? And I was noticing it. And it seemed busy, but you should be making money, and that's part of the problem. Okay, if you're in it to make money, even if they're your good friends, you still have to charge them. Okay? You still have to charge them, or things are going to go sour, and they did. I had no idea until you realize it, and you put 2 and 2 together, you're like, that's how it happened. Okay? And it was 5 owners bringing all their buddies in, and they're all doing the same thing. It's going to fail, and it did. Okay? So, firsthand, I saw it, not just one example. If you're in it to make money, you've got to charge your buddies, your family, okay, if you plan on thriving. What is that principle known as? The profit. You're motivated by profit. Now, within certain degrees, we're going to see exploitation, where you're taking advantage of people, and that's not a good thing either. Okay, classical liberalism had to evolve because too many people, the workers, were being exploited, which is still being done in certain areas of the world today. Okay, when you outsource things, I'll just use an example, the Nike shoes that I highlighted before, Sebastian. I like them, I'm a huge supporter of Nike, I buy a lot of Nike items, okay? But, are shoes truly worth $200, $300? Okay, in the whole process of manufacturing these items, especially when they're being outsourced, realistically, those shoes are worth what? 20 bucks? 20 bucks? Yet they're charging 300 for something? It's ridiculous. Who's getting exploited in the whole process? People making this stuff. One example, I'm not shit-talking Nike, please do not go and think that I'm anti-Nike, okay? That's one example. They're motivated by profit, and if you're gonna take this laissez-faire approach, things are gonna go bad. This is another thing to note, I would write that down as well. The invisible hand is another thing to note. So, laissez-faire, know that, okay, what that means. The wealth of nations, he advocated for the profit motive, and a invisible. Do not get involved in the economy. Government, hands off. This invisible hand will guide it. Okay? You don't need a government to guide the economy. The invisible hand will take care of it. Okay? In working in your own self-interest, individuals will inadvertently benefit all society. The market will be fine due to the forces of supply and demand. Okay? This sounds pretty good. You're going to see during a certain time period, in the 1930s, there were flaws. Okay? The 1930s, why do I highlight that? What was that? The Great Depression. You saw the failures of this. Okay? If consumers are independent or sovereign, supply and demand will dictate the natural flow of money. Okay? Think about prices. If you've got a product and you've got a hell of a lot of supply, but there's little demand for it, what happens to the price of that? I'll write this down again. Simple economics. Okay, if demand of a product is high, but supply of the product is low, what happens to the price? What happens to the price? It goes up. Price goes up. Okay? Simple basic economics. If demand for a product is and supply of a product is high, what happens to the price? Goes down. Okay? Except for yes, it's happened. It's highlighted that. Okay? Which is another thing we could discuss. That's a whole can of worms. Okay? So see, you understand basic economics, basic politics in this course. The P of the PRICE's acronym is private property. Advocating that you should be free to purchase whatever you wish. Okay? Using, owning, selling that property, disposing of that property if you no longer wish to own that. Okay? Rental properties, etc. Take into account what is valued by individuals. Buying, selling property. Aboriginals have a very different outlook on this, and that's important to note. European mindset embraces individualism. Aboriginal mindset is more collectivist. Remember, when it comes to private property and land, more specifically, what do Aboriginals believe about land? You shouldn't take from it and make money off of it. What should you do? Cherish it for all people. Okay? So a very different outlook on ownership. That is all I have to say. You have a hell of a lot of time to now work with your textbook and get it back to it. Okay, that is due tomorrow. We are in class taking this up. Now this is how we're going to learn how we do this in my class, which may be different from others. You need a marking utensil for tomorrow, which means what? Try to bring a red pen, okay, or pencil. How do I do this? I let you mark your own. Oh, I can tell my... Yeah, sure, you can lie to yourself, okay? Or you can be honest with yourself. Do a good job. You're going to mark it in class with my key. We'll go through the key. You tell me your mark. That's how I do things. Okay? Cool? Wonderful. Work. Okay? The time is yours. Stay on task. Get it done. This assignment's not hard. Just get it done. Brian, question. Lucas. Spare? Do you have a spare? Oh, you don't have to wait from the... Yeah.
He asked me if I had a juice box. Like, what?